WrestleMania 42 is this weekend, and I genuinely want it to flop. Not because I hate wrestling, but because I want it to not suck anymore. Right now, TKO is running WWE like a hedge fund that happens to have a wrestling division, and the only thing that is going to make them course correct is if this year's WrestleMania flops harder than it ever has. And look, this is not an AEW fan hoping WWE burns down. I have been watching this company my whole life. And what I am watching right now is the biggest wrestling company in the world, slowly losing what made it special while chasing the wrong things. So here are the 5 reasons I need this weekend to go badly for TKO and WWE. Reason 1. TKO is just too greedy. Remember the times when WrestleMania tickets were sold out months and months in advance? Quite recently, WWE wouldn't shut up about yet another sold-out Raw or SmackDown. But right now the situation is grim. It is supposed to be the biggest show of the year for a company that was supposedly red hot and at its peak. This was pro wrestling's Super Bowl, and yet WrestleMania is not selling out. And that too, after numerous attempts to give discounts to people. They gave that huge Austin 316 discount in March. Then, a heel Pat McAfee announced another 25% off, framed like he's doing fans a favor. Both nights are still not sold out. And honestly, none of this should surprise anyone, because TKO's own COO, Mark Shapiro, said WWE still has work to do on ticket pricing because Vince McMahon was pricing tickets for families and not maximizing the opportunity. The man is genuinely complaining that Vince wasn't squeezing fans hard enough. That's who's running the show now. And it doesn't stop at tickets. WrestleMania 42 was actually announced for New Orleans. The Rock himself announced it, which made his appearance comical now looking back. TKO then pulled it and sent it to Las Vegas for the 2nd straight year, because Las Vegas paid more. And next year, they are going to Saudi Arabia. They didn't go to London, where fans have been waiting decades, and where Cena literally stood in the O2 and begged for it. They went to Saudi Arabia because that is where the biggest check was. And when fans say anything about it, people like Nick Khan call it a vocal minority being upset that should be ignored. That is the relationship TKO has with its fan base right now. Reason 2. Pat McAfee needs to go away. Look, I get it. Pat McAfee is charismatic and funny on commentary sometimes. But somewhere along the way, somebody at WWE decided that the answer to every problem is more Pat McAfee. Randy Orton has been in this business for over 2 decades and has 14 world title reigns to his name, and apparently he needs a commentator in his ear to feel relevant. And now we are here, watching Pat manage Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and being so annoyingly bad at it that people have gone completely cold on this match, which started off red hot during the initial contract signing episode. Ari wants to make Pat a star in Hollywood, and what better way to test it than the biggest show of the year in WWE? That in itself should make people want this WrestleMania to flop badly. If WrestleMania 42 does well, if the numbers are good, and TKO can point to it as a success, Pat McAfee's role in this company might get bigger. He might start managing more and more people like Don Callis on AEW. Whatever is on the WrestleMania card that succeeds becomes the template for the next 6 months. So a successful show with Pat at the center of a main event tells TKO to bring in more celebrities than it is doing now, if that is even possible. A flop forces TKO to calm down on this. Pat is a megastar stuff. Maybe they will realize Pat is just good enough for occasional commentary roles and nothing else. Reason 3. Triple H's creative has been lagging for a while now. When Triple H took over creative after Vince left, there was genuine excitement among the WWE fans. The feeling was that someone with actual wrestling taste was finally in charge, and the product was going to reflect that. And the first year or so was genuinely promising. But here is what I think people are slowly starting to admit: the best story WWE has told in the last 5 years was the Bloodline saga. And that story was handed to Triple H by the Vince McMahon regime. Roman's whole character and everything that came with it was already fully built before Triple H touched the wheel. He inherited it, managed it well enough, and it had an incredible conclusion at WrestleMania 40. But since then, what has Triple H actually built from scratch that has that same resonance? What I see instead is the same group of people cycling through the top spots on every card while everyone else waits. And the favorites, getting the spotlight so consistently that you can pretty much predict every major program months out in advance. The stories themselves have gotten predictable in a way that is hard to ignore. You can see the beats coming from a mile away. There is no real sense that anything unexpected is going to happen anymore. A WrestleMania flop puts real pressure on Triple H and his team in a way that a successful show simply does not. Who knows? Maybe The Rock is lurking around the edges of this company's creative direction, and if the product keeps underperforming, TKO might opt for him and his writer buddy to take over. Sometimes, the only thing that makes a creative team genuinely hungry again is the feeling that their job is not completely safe. Reason 4. The same people have been hogging the top of this card for too long. Look at the WrestleMania 42 card. These are the same names that have been at the center of every major story for years now. All of them past the point where their spot at the top feels earned rather than just assumed. And meanwhile, there is a whole roster of people waiting, genuinely talented people who get their moment on a random episode of SmackDown and then go right back to the mid-card because the big spots are taken. I don't think WWE doesn't know this. I think they know exactly what they have in someone like Obafemi. The reaction that man is getting recently tells you everything about what WWE fans actually want right now, and the crowd is absolutely ready for someone new to be given a real shot. But as long as the show keeps doing good numbers with the same people on top, there is no urgency to pull the trigger on anyone new. A WrestleMania that underperforms changes that equation. If this show does not deliver the way TKO needs it to, there might be some rethinking about who is actually carrying the company going forward. You cannot keep putting the same 40-year-olds in the main event and wonder why younger fans are not connecting with the product. Reason 5. WWE's streaming situation is a mess, and a WrestleMania flop might actually fix it. Right now, if you want to follow WWE properly, you need Netflix for Raw, ESPN for the premium live events, and even then, the old library is not fully on Netflix. So, good luck going back and watching anything. It is genuinely fragmented in a way that makes no sense. You are telling someone who just got into wrestling to subscribe to multiple platforms just to follow what is going on in the company. That is just a barrier for new viewers. How is WWE even expecting people to become fans if the story is fragmented over multiple streaming services? And the ESPN deal is specifically counterproductive because ESPN's audience is mostly sports fans, people who watch the NFL and the NBA and do not particularly want to be sold a scripted program in the middle of their sports content. This might seem like sports fans being jerks, but can you really blame them? WWE is screaming at the world to look at how meticulously scripted their whole show is, and then want sports fans to just play along with the WWE stories being presented along with the other sports headlines. Even as a WWE fan, I admit that must be super annoying. WWE, for these reasons, need to get off ESPN and stop this force-feeding pro wrestling to a hardcore sports audience. It has a good home at Netflix, which gives worldwide wrestling fans access to its shows. But instead of appreciating that, WWE keeps looking for more and more different streaming partners to spread out their content. If the numbers from this WrestleMania are bad enough, maybe WWE and TKO start seriously asking whether consolidating everything on Netflix makes more sense than spreading it across platforms where half the audience does not know what they are watching and the other half cannot afford to fund. So what do you think? Would WWE and TKO change for the better if this year's WrestleMania flops?